Offers OBGYN services, but because I realized I both hadn't worked out really hard or figured out if I was pregnant or not in a really long time, and I figured I would kill two birds with one stone. I almost wish the test result would have been positive, because then I actually may have pushed myself directly in front of a guy doing circuit training. Guys, what I'm trying to say is I'm a really bad adult, okay? I'm a really bad adult. Have you ever done something really stupid for the first time in your life that you're way too old to have done for the first time? It's a really stupid mistake. Guys, I overdrafted my checking account. I'm almost 30. I overdrafted my checking account for the first time ever recently. I almost feel like I missed the window of opportunity to do something that stupid. Like, I should have done that when I was like, I don't know, like 10. You know, like balancing your checkbook, that's like 5th grade math, right? So I did this for the first time when I'm 30. I feel like that's the same thing as if I got pregnant for the first time at 30 by accident. You know, like, at this point, I'm not saying that I feel like having an abortion at 30 would be immoral, more so as I think it would just be silly. You know, it's like, Rachel, what else are you going to do with your uterus? Write a blog about it on Jezebel.com. But I did. I overdrafted. It was totally my fault. It was my mistake. I called the bank and I said, hey guys, can you just, I'll put the money back in for the check that I wrote, but can you just take off that fee for me? I really appreciate it. And they were like, well, we don't really do that unless it's the bank's mistake. I was like, that's discrimination. I mean, your job is to do bank stuff, and I have to do my job and do my bank stuff. So you guys are allowed to make a mistake at your job, but I can't make a mistake running my life. Guys, what I'm trying to say is I can't afford to drink right now. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Guys, I am getting older. I had to go to the doctor recently because I thought I was suffering from symptoms of early onset heart disease, the number 2 leading killer of adult women, the number 1 killer being institutionalized gender oppression, which has no visible symptoms. But it turns out I was only having a panic attack. Okay, no big deal. It turns out that panic attacks are your body's natural way of saying, hey, nobody breathes forever. Why not you? Why not now? My doctor was very understanding about it. She was like, look, I'm looking at some of your social history. I notice you drink a lot of caffeine. You could just cut that right out to reduce a lot of your anxiety. And I was like, look, that's out of the question. Okay, I need caffeine, guys. I need like 4 cups of coffee in the morning to feel energetic and productive to start my day. I need like 3 Rockstar energy drinks in the afternoon to suppress any feelings of homicide toward people who talk to me. She was really cool about that. She's like, it's okay, Rachel, you can keep your caffeine. I also noticed that you drink a good amount of alcohol that can dehydrate you, speed up the heart rate. Maybe you can keep drinking coffee, but cut out the booze. And I was like, look, doctor, I don't need alcohol, okay? I don't need alcohol, guys. I don't need alcohol. I just do a lot of performance at night, and I depend on it to feel comfortable. Once again, she was really cool, very harm reduction about it for all my psych majors out there. She was like, okay, Rachel, you can keep drinking caffeine, keep having alcohol, no big deal. Maybe on the days you're feeling particularly edgy, you could reduce your anxiety by taking a small dose of Xanax. I was like, fuck you, lady, I don't need drugs to feel normal. Stop trying to change who I am with substances. Guys, some of you guys from out of town, clap it up if you're from Philly, if you live in Philly. Clap it up if you're from New York. There's some New York here tonight? No? Okay, then I was wrong. Okay. So it's fine. I'll admit it to you guys, I actually grew up in the suburbs of South Jersey. Oh, shit. People. Guys, but I lived in Philly for like 6 years. I love it here, but when I moved here, you guys might relate to this, my mom got really nervous. I don't know if you guys know this, but Philadelphia has kind of a bad reputation. But I don't like to judge an area based on its reputation to see if it's good or bad. I like to judge an area on whether or not it's good or bad based on what people sell in that area. Okay, like I actually took the bus to get here. I'll give you an example, and it was time for my stop. a man shot up out of his seat and started walking up and down the bus saying, I have Coke, if anybody needs Coke, I can sell you Coke if you want to buy Coke. And I knew immediately that I was in a good neighborhood. Because people can afford cocaine here. By the same token, I lived in West Philly for 2 years, and when I was coming out of what I thought was a perfectly fine establishment for purchasing my 40 ounce of Steel Reserve, there was a man standing on the corner and he was like, hey miss, I'll sell you the cigarette for 50 cents. And he was smoking the cigarette, which means that that's worked for him before. I am getting older though, so all set's going to be about me on the verge of 30. Guys, a lot of my friends are getting married, they're having babies. I'm getting used to it, I'm getting used to the baby shower invites, but something happened I wasn't used to that I didn't quite expect. I got invited to something called a gender reveal party. Have you guys heard of a gender reveal party? Some of you guys have, probably mostly women. Guys, if you don't know what it is, I'll explain it to you real quickly. It's basically a modernized baby shower for the types of pregnant couples who probably got engaged to the Whole Foods. And they invite all their friends over to their house to creatively reveal the gender of the baby they're about to have. I know, I could give just as much of a shit as you guys do about that. I don't know about you, but I miss the good old days where I could spend a long Sunday afternoon with my closest female acquaintances and watch someone open up an expensive gift I paid for using the money I saved by not getting pregnant. But the thing about gender reveal parties is that they just sexualize the baby, which I think is strange that people do all the time. Like, I had a friend who just had a beautiful baby boy, and we all went over to her house to see him and hold him, and my other friend said, oh, he's so cute. He's totally going to be a lady killer. I was like, why are you already imagining this little baby violently plowing women? She may well have just said, oh, he has such an angelic face. He's totally going to help out 9 of his drunk friends run a train over that passed out girl at a party one day. And he'll get away with it because he has the white privilege of his father. Guys, don't get the wrong idea about me now, okay? Don't get the wrong idea about me. I like babies, guys. I love babies. I used to be a baby. I just don't want any of my own, you know? If I want to deal with something that cried all day long and needed me constantly, I would have been a lesbian. Guys, I'm going to tell you this now. If you find yourself getting offended by my lesbian jokes, just keep in mind that they're only jokes about women. I used to think that joke was funnier too until I met a lesbian baby. She just kept trying to put her mouth all over my boobs. It was really strange for everyone. Guys, I love lesbians. Don't get the wrong idea about me, guys. I love lesbians. I used to go to a popular lesbian bar in Philadelphia with my ex-lesbian roommate. This sounds really lesbian-y, right? But they would have all these free drink tickets and you could eat all this food and do karaoke and have a dance party and you would do lesbian shit too on Thursday nights. I don't care who you are. And the thing I found out about sexuality is that people only care about your sexual orientation when they're trying to figure out if they can get in your pants or not. They don't really care about you. Like, I was at this lesbian bar and there was a tap on my shoulder and I turned around and there was a woman standing behind me and she was like, excuse me, are you straight? And I was like, what do you mean? And she said, well, I saw you checking me out and if you're straight, I don't want to waste my drink tickets. And I was like, what kind of drink tickets are these? I mean, I've just been frivolously throwing away my drink tickets on Yingling lagers when I could have been saving them up to slay puss. And then I said slay puss and she knew I was straight and she walked away, which I deserved. Guys, I've shared a lot of things about myself with you guys, but there are some things that are hard for me to talk about. Like a few years ago, I had to get a master's degree in social work. Very expensive mistake, guys. I'm probably never going to be able to pay off all of that debt. But I started to write a letter to the bank to negotiate down the amount of debt that I owe, and I'm stuck in the middle of it. If anybody here has any ideas, you can come up to me after the show, give me some advice, but so far all I have is Dear American Education Services. Due to a long-term temporary financial hardship, I will never be able to pay off all of this. But if we could just pretend like this never happened, how many dicks would I have to suck? I propose 500 dicks. Here's why. I'm in over 100 grand in debt. That would only be 1 dick a day for less than 2 years. 0% interest. I've given this thought, guys. Yeah. What's the government doing? Nothing. It's the dick plan. All the way. I'm going to get you all on board by the end of the night. You're all going to be on board with the dick plan. Who you are or where you come from. Some people have actually said, Rachel, have you considered prostitution? And I'm not against it. I love sex workers, so do you. I don't judge people. But something about the idea of having sex with a guy I'm not really attracted to in exchange for something that I want just feels un-American. Having sex with a guy I'm not really attracted to for no money just feels natural. Guys, don't worry about me. I do have a real job. I do counseling in sex education, so I talk to people about their genitals all day. I get a lot of weird text messages from my friends because they know this about me, and I'm always faced with this challenge. Like, I'll have a friend who will send me a really difficult question. They'll say something like, Rachel, do you think that since I have chlamydia, it's not because my partner is cheating on me, but do you think maybe I got it from this toilet seat? And I'd like to take that opportunity not to be judgmental or sarcastic, but to be educational. Because that's what it's about, guys. It's about education. And I like to say something positive and reinforcing, like, the point is that you use a condom every time. Okay? That you use a condom each and every time you have sex on a public toilet seat. Guys, you're ready for your first comedian. Actually, she's not